Okay, well, mic seems to be working, but nothing else is. So I'm gonna assume that OBS just shit the bed. I'm gonna stop the stream, then restart and come back. Hang on. Da-dum, da-dum. I think I worked out what the problem was. Let's see. Hang on. Just have to do a couple of tests and see if this actually did anything. I had to restart everything. So the problem was that audio is not coming out of the music software. Well, it is coming out. It's coming out in my headphones, but I can see it's not coming out in through OBS, which could be a problem, obviously, as we'll be working with audio this evening. And yes, Summer, I did remember to reset my Steam key or Stream key. Not the Steam key, because we're not playing a Steam game. Let's see if there's actual audio coming out now. It would not appear so. And once again, it could just be OBS having a blast. I seem to remember something equally amusing happening the last time we did something like this. Hang on, let me just see if any of the other programs are squatting the audio device. Could be Discord, so I'm just gonna kill Discord quickly. This is cool. It's like a live troubleshooting chapter going on here. Still nothing. Yeah, OBS is having, well, I guess OBS is really in the clear. I guess what's happening is Windows and its handling of audio devices is having a little fit of some description. So I guess one thing I could try and do, let's see, let's change the playback device. This might mean that you'll hear something and I'll hear nothing. Let's see what happens. Well then, we have audio. Not very nice audio though. I do realize that I may have forgotten to take off some compression. Let's see if this is a little better. It's a slow start. Don't fear. Yeah, you guys should be hearing that loud and clear, and it should also, fingers crossed, be ducking with my voice. At least that's what I hear in me little face. You know what, I can just turn off the, hi. Let's turn off the little waiting screen we've got there. Hi, I'm the Space Quest historian. Welcome to us doing stuff to the Space Quest 4 soundtrack. God, I hope that's coming out somewhat adequately clear. Summer's doing a great job of troubleshooting in the background. I realized you guys couldn't see that over the waiting screen. But anyway, she was, well, basically all she said was, is OBS having a fit? And it was, yeah, it is. Summer says sounds fine. Well, I'm gonna take her word for it. So, oh, before we get started, let's fire up Discord again, because apparently it is innocent. My apologies, Mr. Discord. Whatever the hell that little mascot of it's supposed to be. Is it supposed to be like a pair of headphones with eyes or a controller with those weird little shoulder buttons? I don't get it. It's very weird, and I find it highly disconcerting. So yeah, yep. My Discord now says I've gone live twice, which is the appropriate amount of times, I guess. All right, there's a Parsec link in the backer chat for those of you who wish to watch this unfold very much live, more live than everyone else. And I think we're pretty good to go. Also, the music's about to end. So, howdy, Pixie Cow in Le Chatty. So, I guess, you know what? I don't know. I'll let this finish. It is now finished. I'll let this finish. Then I'll open up a new bit of music that we've done and just sort of explain what it is we're doing. Let's see. Well, this is the next track in the order of the intro, at least. Hang on, it's just gonna load. Boom, there it goes. That was a hell of a sound to begin with. Hang on, let's try that again. Thanks, might need to clear that up a bit. Hi, I'm the Space Quest historian. Welcome back to remixing Space Quest 4's soundtrack for vinyl. That needs an explanation, doesn't it? I've done one of these streams before where we did the Space Quest 4 main theme and worked on that, which was great fun. And the goal of this is not just to have fun with the Space Quest 4 soundtrack, although that is a lofty goal in and of itself and one that we should all praise. But anyway, the point of this, as you may have noticed from the title, is to remix it for vinyl. And what I really wanted to do was to have Space Quest soundtrack on vinyl. Just because I went to PAX PAX West in September, and I picked up a couple of game soundtracks on vinyl. Picked up Grim Fandango and Doki Doki Literature Club. Again, don't ask. And I was like, why don't we have this for Space Quest? Because Space Quest has an awesome soundtrack. And I realized that, well, I was about to say no one has done a proper sort of orchestral reimagining of the Space Quest 4 soundtrack. That's not true. There are some online. There's just always something like a little off about them. There's one, like if you search orchestral Space Quest 4, there's one dude who just ran it through so pretty much what I've done here. Just ran the original MIDI files through some software synths, and it came out pretty good. But there's just this little thing. Most of the crash cymbals were way too loud. And it's just like, if I'm going to listen to that for like 45 minutes, each side of a vinyl is 25 minutes, so 50 minutes. If I'm going to listen to that for 50 minutes, I'll go spare. But otherwise, a magnificent job. And also just, to have some sort of like personal ownership over it. And again, ownership is not the word I really should be using in this, because I really must stress that this is an absolute non-profit deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remix, like I say, like 40 to 50 minutes of the Space Quest 4 soundtrack. Obviously not the entire thing, because that won't fit on a single vinyl. But anyway, I'll fix up like 40 or 50 minutes of it, and then I'll put the thing on Qrates.com. Is it Crates or Qrates? It's Crates with a Q. Anyway, that's a vinyl crowdfunding website. And what you do there is you basically stick all your music on there. You split it into the different vinyl sides, and then you go, all right, now have at it, lads. Pre-order 100 of these, and then it'll get printed up. And if we don't get 100 pre-orders, then nothing happens. You don't get your vinyl, and, well, so much for that idea. So anyway, that's the plan. We're going to fix up the Space Quest 4 soundtrack. We're going to stick it on Crates and see if 100 people pre-order a vinyl. And if 100 people pre-order a vinyl, then a vinyl gets made. And the only reason they have to actually pay money for it is to pay for the actual printing and shipping of it, which Qrates handles, by the way. That's not something that gets shipped to me and then I have to ship everything out. Qrates handles all of that. And I really must stress, again, not for profit, and also not the same thing that the composer of Space Quest 4, Ken Allen, was doing a couple of years back when he crowdfunded something called Under the Half Dome, which was an entire re-recording of not just Space Quest soundtracks, but soundtracks that he'd worked on. He successfully crowdfunded that thing, and then it sort of took a backseat while he was doing the sound and music for Space Venture, which is coming out. You don't have to ask. And he's, it kind of went by the wayside, so he's been quietly refunding people and going, okay, sure, fuck it. As far as I know, he's still doing that. But anyway, I just want to make it clear, this is not that either. This is what we're doing here. And I am re-explaining this for people who didn't join us the first time. What we're doing here is we're taking the original MIDI data of the music from Space Quest 4. We're not adding anything. We're not re-recording anything. We're simply importing the old MIDI files and then picking appropriate music and sound patches for them. Instrument patches is what I meant to say. So, I mean, you've got a little bit of incidental music like this. This is when, just after the main theme, you're looking through the viewport of whatever ship the supercomputer and the secret police are traveling around in. I don't think we ever see it from the outside. Anyway, tangent. You see Magmethius there, and all the numbers sort of dial up, and then Sludge Vohal goes, "Off to Magmethius with you then," and then there you go. And this is the music that plays there. That's it. That's that's that track, and all it does, and that would obviously loop over that scene depending on how slow or fast your computer was. That music would just loop over and over again. So that's what we've been doing. Is last stream we just did the main theme, and you heard that at the start, and I've been doing more bits of the intro, because I kind of want the first side of the vinyl to have at least as much of the intro. Pretty much the entire intro, actually. Even though there are some bits of the intro that are mainly just background incidental type music, like when Sludge Vohal, explains to Roger just what the hell he's up to, like gives him the whole plot dump. That music I've titled, helpfully, "A Pain in My Future," because that's my favorite line from that whole spiel. To relieve the pain of my humiliation and prevent you from being a pain in my future, you must die. And this is the music that plays during that. That was the appearance of the hologram. So as you can tell, this is not terribly interesting music just in and of itself. There's supposed to be dialogue on top of this. Vohal's supposed to talk and talk and talk over all this stuff. So this is just background music, but I want to keep it in because it is part of the entire intro, and you expect after that's done, you get the action music as Roger Jr. jumps down from the aluminum mallet. That whole thing. And that's the one I've been working on recently. Since the last stream, I've barely touched this whole project because computer crashed, had to reinstall. I think I've told this story a million times. So just this morning, when I was just sort of getting all the files in order and ready and set up to stream here, I started looking at this one, and this is the next bit in the intro. You'll notice I've skipped the Magmethian bar theme, by the way. Don't think I've forgotten about it. I'll show you later. But anyway, this is the rescue bit, and this is not finished because I was just sort of twiddling around with different types of instruments for this. I don't know. Have a listen. Oh, it's supposed to loop and fade out as well. So anyway, that's pretty much what we're doing. We're just picking instruments for different patches. Hi chat, hi Pixie Cow. Don't worry, have a read, go to bed. This is just going to be a chill stream. There's nothing terribly exciting going to happen tonight. We're just gonna mess with this shit. Summer asked if the vinyl will be affordable. I'll pre-order it. Seeing as this is a non-for-profit thing, it's up to Curate, really. It'll be as low as they can go. There will be no profit in it for me. Every vinyl that's ordered, every single cent of that will go to just having it made and shipped. I'm not gonna, draw any profit from it whatsoever. And Magnesian Bar. I'll bet you guys want to listen to that because that actually has a melody and a rhythm, and it's sort of, well, it's a sound. You can enjoy the sound of it. Here we go. It was really hard coming up with something that sounded okay for this sort of electric piano thing going on in the background. I really had to go back and forth and find all sorts of different instruments. And here comes my favorite bit. It just goes into jazzy Space Quest theme, and then it goes back to the whole thing, and you'll see it just basically loops twice. Just back to the first thing it played, and it's going to go through all of that again, and then at the end there's a fade out. So once you get done with the second, just back to that again, and we slowly and surely fade out. And then the intro carries on. So where we're up to, essentially, is intro-wise, the last thing we need to get done is the Junior Rescue thing. And then he shoves you through the time rip. And then you land on the Streets of Xenon. And pretty much the whole Streets of Xenon thing is another sort of very ambient track. And I don't know if this is the right approach, but it is a personal project. So I am going to sort of pick and choose the bits of music from the soundtrack that I think are most memorable, that have the most memorable melodies, that stand out the most. And a lot of the ambient tracks, like You Walk Through the Sewers, it's basically just a lot of rumbling and a lot of like synth pads and shit. And it's lovely in the context of the game, but it doesn't make for very interesting listen. And the reason why I've got stuff like Pain in My Future and the Rescue, and I'm going to have the Streets of Xenon in there, is because when you're listening to that as a cohesive whole, it's just going to sound like, I'm listening to the entire intro of the game. Like if you played the game a million times like I have, you're just going to go, okay, that's the intro of the game. So that's in there intact. But after that, we're just going to pick and choose bits of music that I really like. And speaking of picking and choosing, I'm just going to play you what I've done so far, and then we'll get into actually doing stuff. Of course, I've done the Format Countdown. Of course, I've done the Professor Lloyd theme and the Rocket Bar when Roger goes back to Space Quest 1. I've also done that. This is not new information, by the way. This was on the Discord. Oh, shit. That must be a couple of months ago, actually. When we did the first stream, just slightly after the first stream, I did some more work on this stuff. Like, here's the Space Quest 1 Rocket Bar for you. By the way, in the chat, you'll have to let me know if the volume is too low. It's kind of low in my ears, but hopefully it's better like live out on the stream. Anyway, Rocket Bar. That is not low at all. Look at it's peaking. And I know exactly why it was peaking. I'll shut up, sorry. Oh, actually, hang on. Oh, thanks for the cheers, Zombie Gamer. Thank you so much. Really shouldn't be drinking Coke at this hour, but that's all I got. There's no water in the tap. No. There is water in the tap. I was just really thirsty. And again, this loops, and it should fade out at the end. I'm not sure if it does. Nope, it just sort of skids to a halt. That's fine. We'll work out the little tiny kinks like that later on. You're probably also somewhat interested, at least, in having a listen to the format countdown. I think I played this on the last stream. Anyway. Oh yeah, and the reason why it's peaking at the start, why the levels are sort of messed up, is because there's some hidden meaty data at the start of some of this shit that I've tried to get rid of by like leaving in some space here, but pretty much what you have to do, and this is complete fucking workaround hack shit, what you have to do is start the music, pause it, rewind, and then start again, because that will sort of, I don't know, I guess reset all that meaty. I don't know how that works. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Anyway, that's what you gotta do. So here's the format countdown. That could stand to be a little louder, I think. There we go, nice bit of fade out. Zombie Gamer, yeah, you were not showing as a patron. I don't know what Discord has against you, but I've just fixed it. Okay, so like you can see, I'm just sort of adjusting some levels here. I think we're gonna get into it. Yeah, you can hear the Professor Lord theme later. It was in the last stream. You don't need to hear it again. So what we're up to is Junior's Rescue. I'm just gonna fix that one up, and then we can start listening to the original MIDI files and see what other bits of music we want in. And I have helpfully cheated and where'd you go? I've cheated and actually compiled a little list of tracks that I would like. I got the Sea Slug theme. Run, girls. Format countdown, got that one in. Monochrome Boys, Hunting Your... Oh, thank you, Zombie Gamer. Again. Oh, are we adding the famous Space Quest theme in farts? Nice callback to the Hypnospace Outlaw stream. Or actually after that, when I did the Space Quest 3 theme in the Hypno Tracker. There's a little music program hidden away in Hypnospace Outlaw, and it just basically took a fart sound and you know, played the Space Quest 3 theme with farts. Not gonna throw that on the vinyl. I think if you really want it, and if we can get 100 people to pre-order it, we'll do up a 7-inch single with the fart theme. Shit. Anyway, Monochrome Boys, When They're Chasing You Down, because right now we've got the Rocket Bar theme, but we also want to get When the Monochrome Boys Are Chasing Roger Around on the desert. Wow, what an incredible view would be when the pterodactyl thing captures Roger on Estros. It takes him back to his nest. Her nest? I don't know. Probably her. When Roger Jr. beats up a couple of secret policemen. When Roger Jr. throws you into time rip. This must be part of the intro. This is probably the next one we're gonna have to fix up, if it's not the one we're working on. I'm not entirely sure. The last fight in the game, when you're fighting Roger Jr. with Slotch's consciousness in him. When you're traveling to the latex babe lair, the sax. You know what? I have the list on the screen. Why am I reading this aloud to you? Anyway, these are the bits of music that I'd like to put in the game, and we're probably not gonna go through all of them today. Obviously not. Not the format countdown by Europe. No, that's not. Hi, Vocabra. Yes. Oh shit, Summer. How'd that pizza pass through the system and everything? Are you good, or did you have to go to the hospital? Yesterday we had the annual YouTube Adventure Roundtable stream marathon of our favorite games of 2019, and there was Summer just shouted out a moment ago. Cool. Cheers. I'm very glad it actually passed through the system, because one of the donation incentives for Summer was that we could choose what toppings to put on her pizza, and that was, let's just face it, just a mistake. That should not have been a donation incentive. And Summer should not have been forced to eat that, but gosh darn it, she did it like a trooper anyway. So anyway, here we go, Junior's Rescue. Now, this one is tricky, and as you can see, it's not against the rules to split up individual parts and put them on separate tracks and add different instrument pieces. The overriding goal of this whole thing is to keep the original MIDI data as composed by Ken Allen and as performed as him. So we're not adding stuff in. We might add in a sound effect or in one of the pieces there, I had a little sort of build up thing. I think that's okay, because that's just like a little percussive thing, like a little addition, like a little sound effect stuff. I think that's okay, but by and large, all the instruments have to be the same as they were in the original game from 1991. But it is, I think, permissible to split up the audio tracks. As you can see, we've got all the audio tracks here, 1 through 9. Split them up into different tracks and add different instruments to them, because as you can see, the rock lead, this is a terrible name for a synthesizer, it's basically doing this. That's the little synthy stabby thing that goes on. Before I had a mess with this, I also had it playing this bit over here. But it just sounded wrong. Have a listen, actually, with all the instruments. It's too sharp. There's too much going on all of a sudden. So what I did was I plonked all that MIDI data into a separate track and found a nice little Michael Jackson 1980s style bass, which is quite low in the mix, actually. I was not singing the Star Trek theme, Vocabra. That is not, you absolutely know it was not the Star Trek theme. It was the theme that goes along with this. So anyway, so what it does is it's weird how it starts in here, actually. I think I'm going to reserve the right to to just sort of cancel that out, because I think it's doing fine on its own up until this bit. The orchestral snare drum is starting to grate on me. But there's still something sort of missing from that. It sounds very, very sort of bass heavy, but there's not a lot of oomph to it for some reason. And well, since we don't have any more data to work with, I'm thinking, what can we duplicate? Maybe double up some of the instruments, some of the low instruments, and maybe just give them a bit more power. As you could tell, I think it's Control. No, I'm just trying to remember the shortcuts for this fucking program. Oh shit! Oh dear God! Can you guys scoot back in place? Actually, yeah. Check this out. I have to move it one step forward. Is it if I hold down Shift? No. I want to duplicate this fucking thing. I want to hold down Alt. There you go. So if I have all of this shit, both the original synth and the Michael Jackson bass and whatever this thing down here is doing, check this out. This one's also playing the doot 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 doot. I'm actually not sure I want to keep that in, because maybe what happens if I mute that thing and just have the original synth and the Michael Jackson bass played together instead. Nah, it's too heavy. And yeah, I know, ironic coming from a guy who listens to heavy, but in the context of this song, no. I like that one because it sort of tickles your right ear. It's panned out to the right. But I kind of wish there was more to it. I kind of wish there was a bit more oomph to it. So let's insert another track and double this thing up. Oh dear God, I'm gonna have to zoom in, make sure the timing is okay, or the timing is good. I'm holding down Alt, you absolute piece of shit. There you go. There's a sequence to this, apparently. The cover says it sounds Nintendo 64-ish. The Nintendo 64, interestingly, used a tracker-ish sort of... I mean, you could use samples. We heard this one because Backseat Designers did an interview with Aubrey Hodges, who did the soundtrack for Doom 64 and Quake 64, where he was talking about how that soundtrack was made by him playing samples. The only lo-fi samples, because you know the Nintendo 64 only had like these 8 kilohertz, like really lo-fi samples. So if you had like a realistic sounding instrument on the Nintendo 64, it would sound very tinny, very harsh, like a lo-fi MP3 kind of thing. So what he did was he took samples of, I think they must have been like strings or him barfing into the microphone or his dishwasher. I don't know. And he just played it at a very, very low octave. So it sounded unrecognizable and just made this rumbly, dirty, filthy noise. And he just played that for 16 minutes and just, you know, did other sort of audio experimentation on top of that. That's how the Doom 64 and Quake 64 soundtracks were done. And they are legendary to this day. Yeah, bass farts, essentially, bass farts. So it is sort of a tracker-ish system, whereas Space Quest 4 is done with MIDI data. Basically, you have a notation sheet, and it's up to the computer to interpret how to play that. So you tell the computer, this is a vibraphone, for instance. You should play this bit of notation as a vibraphone. But in ye olden days with sound cards, it was up to the sound card to decide, well, how does a vibraphone sound? And if you had an Adlib or a Sound Blaster or an AWA32 or a Gravis Ultrasound or a Sound Canvas or any of the other millions of sound cards, they all had different ideas of what a vibraphone should sound like. Or any other, MT32, for instance. The Space Quest 4 soundtrack was written on an MT32 and then progressively downgraded. So he would go, okay, this is the original, this is the MT32 soundtrack. Now I'm going to take all the MIDI shit I've done for that and ring it through an Adlib. And I'm going to ring it through a PC speaker. And I'm going to ring it, blah. So, shit, that was a very complicated explanation of what MIDI data is. Not a very satisfactory one either. Excuse me. I just got cum blasted by the Coke. Is the fizzy part of it. Oh, there's gonna be burping. I'm just gonna, fair warning, trigger warning here. There's gonna be burping. Anyway, let's, because right now it's on acoustic piano. This is gonna sound fucking hilarious. It's like a Saturday morning cartoon. Someone's chasing you down a hallway. Yeah, that's not what... Yeah, Summer had a lot of burping last night. I said cum blasted, but I guess it is kind of phallic shaped. To each your own, I guess. So anyway, we want to find something. I'm thinking like, just have this thing booming. Just maybe like a fretless bass. Just something that doesn't have a lot of attack to it. It just sort of rumbles in the background. More bass rumbles. Oh, there you go. Something like that, actually. How does that sound together with the Michael Jackson bass? A little muddy. A little muddy, but perhaps not bad. Let's try the other 80s fretless. Not really what I had in mind. Maybe like an acoustic, like a stand-up bass, like an upright bass. That sounds weird together. Yeah, this one was okay. I think maybe what we could do is take the MIDI data from this one, transpose it an octave, and just maybe bury the Michael Jackson bass slightly in the mix. I don't know. There we go. Now we're on to something. Yeah, let's see how that sounds with the rest of them. Hey Summer, you're very welcome to join the voice chat, by the way, if you're interested. I see you're very keen on this shit. So you're very welcome. You don't have to, obviously, but if you'd like. Of course, now it's slightly overpowering, but now it's got that drive on it. Ooh, Angus Vohal in the chat says they find it interesting. I wonder who that could be. Yeah, this tickles me in a good place. Oh yeah, Summer's done plenty of voice stuff last night. Holy shit, she was awake for hours and hours and hours. We streamed for, well, I say we, the YouTube Adventure Roundtable stuff streamed for a good 24 hours, I would imagine. 22 hours. Thank you, Summer. And she was awake for most of it. Like from 12 p.m. Saturday, yes, until, well, she was awake at 6 a.m. when I went to sleep after Gemini streamed The Road to Canada, or whatever that game's called. So, holy shit. Zombie Gamer says, is there a way to integrate the bass more smoothly so it's not so abrupt, so it doesn't sort of pop in as fast? Oh, Death Road to Canada, thank you. Yes, that is a good question. We should probably do that, and one way we can do that is just have the actually go back to what the original composition did, which was introduce the bass a little earlier, but only introduce one element of the bass. So I don't know how this is going to sound. Just bear with me. Excuse me. Told you it was coming. Yeah, I see what you're saying. That did not help, by the way. The little maneuver I did there. I'm honestly not sure. What we could do is, holy shit, what did I just do? We could fade it in, but I don't think that's gonna do anything, because once it gets to this bit, it needs to, kick into drive. So maybe actually what we could do was fade. I don't know, maybe fade it in from here. It's supposed to kick into high gear around here, so was that was 0 dB. So if we do like a nice little fade envelope, why are there two? I don't understand this program a lot of times. Could you not? Could you like not? Good God, man. All right, here we go. There we go. Just one envelope will do, thank you. And just do the same for this. Just sort of fade them in. Let's see. That works better. I like that. Oh dear God, Summer stayed up from start until 9 a.m. in the morning. Fucking trooper, man. Seriously, you are one tough lady. Okay, so one last thing I want to do is, I don't know if you could hear it, but there's this little brass thing in the background having a farting session once this stuff kicks in. Where the hell is that thing? I think it's the big brass. It's this thing. It's just doing what Summer was doing half an hour ago. So that's interesting, and I think we might want to keep it there for flavor, but I think we might also want to split it up, and I forgot how to split things. Control T, there you go, for future reference. And sort of give that an extra kick. I don't know, this with an acoustic piano, this is going to sound great. Not what I had in mind. I don't blame you if you say if the marathons take a lot out of you. Holy shit. I just wish I could have been there for more of that. You know, when we started doing the marathon streams over in the SQH channel, I was like, I would stay there for as much of the time as I could. I just can't do that anymore with all the baby prep and shit. We did watch a lot of it, like my wife and I on the TV, just stayed in the text chat. Maybe someday when the kid's going off to college or something, I'll I'll stay for an entire duration. Let's see, what can we do? What can we do with this? It's just basically just dun. Also, why is it hard panned left? I didn't do that. Why is my phone going off? Did anyone hear that? Oh. I think I've just worked out who Angus Volhall is. Anyway, maybe some hits instead. Let's stab someone. It's not gonna be this. I don't know, it could be interesting actually. I don't think this is a good idea, but just have it as a sort of pulse. What I'd really like was like a fast arpeggio, just going or something, but we don't add anything, we only massage. worst parlor I've ever gone into. Something like that, maybe? It's just there to annoy the ear, just to give that pulse. Yeah, I like that. That's a shame Pickle Dog isn't here. I would imagine he also had to sleep in a bit from last night. Shite. We also want this to loop so we can fade it out properly. Where does the loop begin, I wonder? I would assume it starts with the do. So that would be around here, I think. Oh, good God. Look, the timing's a bit off on some of these parts. Look at that. Look at that. The timing actually starts in between these two. Oh, you shitey. And this is as far in as I can zoom. Well, you absolute tit twister. Maybe here. This would be a good place to have a loop, I think. I don't know how this is going to sound, but let's just split you down the mid. Oh, good God. I'm going to put the cursor here where this thing starts. And then we're just going to go mark this, mark that. Oh, no. No, you don't. No, you fucking don't. Control Z. We want you here. And we have to keep a steady surgeon's hand where we place the cursor to split these tracks. Otherwise, the sky comes crashing down. Here we go. Daryl Heisey says, I really like how the 80s synth bass. Yeah, pushing it up an octave really helped. I was afraid it was going to go really Michael Jackson on me, but it thankfully it left all the kits alone. So that was a dumb joke. I apologize. So what we want to do? Oh, wait. Why am I being such a doof about this? We can just mark all of them, and then we'll crow them. Okay, I'm definitely... The dad beard's coming in nicely, and so's the humor. God damn it, I'm so sorry. We'll just paste you guys in, And let's see, it ends right about here. I'll just pack this in neatly, or as neatly as it'll go. And hopefully this will loop semi cohesively. It won't. I can feel it in my bones. Oh, good God. Why didn't I listen to what I was doing? The loop starts at the it starts at the top note. It starts here, not anywhere else. Anyway, yeah, Lucy just asked in the chat, is this going to be your last solo stream? No. I do plan to stream next Sunday as well, and well, I don't know, actually. Yeah, next Sunday is the 22nd, and then we have our Christmas, pre-Christmas day. I don't know what you guys call it in English. Anyway, it's the 23rd on Monday, so I might stream 22nd. Not sure what I will be streaming. And Torpedo Bear and I will be doing our annual Christmas piss up or not Christmas stream on the 24th as tradition beckons, I guess, even though we're very non-traditional people. Trade insults. We haven't really figured out what we're going to do for, why am I drinking Coke? What we're going to do for the 24th stream. Insult Simulator is an idea. Might play more golf games, might just get drunk and just, because it is going to be our last Christmas stream. I don't think we're going to be able to keep that going on the 24th, because, you know, Christmas 2020, I'll actually have a family, so I'll probably be expected to go to family Christmases and shit. So I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, excuse me. This is a mistake. This is an absolute mistake. Ah, shit, Zombie Gamer, I'm so sorry. We'd love to see you there. Oh, good God. Let me just fix this. Damn. Oh, Zombie Gamer was all hyped up and just went, Christmas stream, I'm off, that's good. Dang, I work on the 24th. Damn it. Alright, let's do this shit again. Oh, good God, you're like right in between two bars again. Good God, I'm just gonna undo this shit and go and find it over here. Maybe, by the grace of God. Would you stop doing that, please? God is not with me. By the grace of God, if I zoom in on this, it'll be somewhat on the line of... No, of course it's not. Why would it be? How to fix that? You know what? I'll work it out later. Let me just split these tracks down the middle here. There we go. This is exciting. This is what everyone was hoping would happen. I'm sure of it. Mark you guys. Dum dee. I'm gonna have to go get a glass of water because Coke at 10 p.m. is not the way to go. Anyway, if I put this here, will the universe laugh at me? You know what? I have a feeling it will. Maybe we... Dear God. Okay, maybe it's because we're snapping to the grid. So can I go like this? Oh, that's gonna be so imprecise. We need to snap to something. The grid just needs to be much smaller, and I'm going about this the wrong way. What we need is like can we have the grid smaller, please? That's a little smaller, actually. That's might actually work, maybe. No, I don't think it'll work because as you okay, this is you're gonna have to squint for this. You'll see the line going down through the tracks here, and see the note represented by the horizontal line. The note is actually playing slightly before the line here. So if I just take this, take all of these and just move them one step back. That node's not going to be played because the start of it is missing. There's got to be some way. I'm not very familiar with this program, by the way, but there's got to be some way to decrease the grid size. Like just make it really tiny. Lanes? I don't know. Who invited her? Gotta be this, right? 1 bar? 2 bars. This changes nothing now. This changes absolutely nothing. Cool. Oh, fuck it. Let's just have a listen, see how bad this is. Actually, not that bad. I was fretting about that and nothing fucking happened. Oh, Y-Brain says there's got to be some way out of here. Set the Joker to the flea. Why would a DC Comics character be hanging out with the bass player from Red Hot Chili Peppers is what I want to know. I mean, there's a noticeable little millisecond of a lag there. You can hear it. If we go back further, just have a listen. Just bob your head along to it or tap your foot or something and check this out. But it's barely noticeable. It is like barely. There's a little millisecond, but it is barely. You can just almost like if you could squint your ears, you could almost go, all right, so the drummer sort of missed a beat or something. Just came in like a millisecond too late. I am tempted to let this one slide, actually. Yeah, squint my ears. That's what I do. Why are brains going on about Jimi Hendrix? Yeah, I know Some Way Out of Here is a Jimi Hendrix song. What did Joker and Flea have to do with that? I have no fucking idea. Dude's off his medication, I think. So I think what we need to do is just have an appropriate fade out here, and Lord knows. Actually, let's do this from the top and see where a fade out would be natural. Let's just have a listen to all of it. That is going to annoy me so much. I'm just gonna fade it out in the middle of this. Like from shit, where are you? Master volume, here you go. I'm just gonna like start fading it out from here to around here. Yeah, something like that. That is going to annoy me. I wish there's some way to fix this. I don't know if I should just hop on to the next track or you know, I'm just going to try something. First of all, I see some questions in the chat. So Daryl Heisey said, drummers are always late. Yes, speaking as a drummer, this is very, very true. So, yeah, absolutely. Lucy asks, is Peanut nearly ready? Peanut being the code word for the offspring soon to come. And yes, he is due late January. So he has been baking for the full 9 months now, more or less. Because the pregnancy is actually 10 months. This is what worked out. They say it's 9 months. It's actually closer to 10. Because midwives are assholes. And Wybrain says Peanut's likely going through beta testing. He's still in an alpha process, really. The public beta will be out a couple of weeks after the delivery. That's when we'll show him off and see, like, if he comes out massively damaged, like his jaws hanging, like if he looks like Emil from RoboCop after he went through the septic tank, we might hold off on the public reveal. But other than that, yeah, give us a couple of weeks. Oh, it snaps off. We don't want that. We want our snaps on. Hang on. Did I do a good? I just realized that you can actually sort of like just nudge a bit of this off. It's still not enough, but don't let my wife hear you say that. I think my wife has heard me say more awful things about our baby than Emil from RoboCop. She's got a good sense of humor, my wife. Good God, this has disaster written all over it, much more than me reproducing. But let's just see how this pans out. Let's see. Thanks, Nebuclink. I will indeed remaster. Remaster it, loser. I'll do my best, sir. Thank you, sir. Oh, one thing we can do. Oh, one thing I didn't think about is some of these notes don't have to like immediately, I guess, line up or whatever you want to call it. So what I can do is actually just zoom into this thing and just. Boy, that was a bit far, actually. Can we just, can we talk about this? Can you, like, scoot over there, maybe? I wish you could go in that little fucking spot in there, but let's not do that. And this guy, same deal. Just the first note of this. You just scoot into the white. There we go. I should be able to do the same thing with this thing, shouldn't I? You go out here and then you just scoot right. No, he's at it. He doesn't want to go into that little white space right there. This guy did a much better job. Thank you. And all of this seems good. So and these like as you can see, there's no meaty data going on in the gap here. So I think we may have dodged a bullet here. One thing I have to do is because one weird thing about Mixcraft, and I don't know why it does this, is that when you've got a series of notations, what the hell was that? Oh, it's my cat. My cat's knocking a cabinet in the background. When you overlay bits of notation on top of each other, like this, boom, you would assume it overwrites what was previously beneath it, right? Previously under it, but no. You mark this one, and all of a sudden there's all the metadata, and it still plays the rest of the metadata. It's just not visible. So you gotta really just keep on your toes. Let's see if this gap is a bit better now. That is a lot better. Wait, just, one more time. Yeah, that one's a solid winner. Yeah, we're good on the junior rescue. Speaking of junior, more questions in the chat. I think it was Zombie Gamer. Yeah, I said if it's a boy, please tell me you're not naming him Roger. No, we are not, but we are indeed having a boy, and his name is Storm. Storm. Means the same thing in Danish as it does in English, but it's less violent in Danish, I guess. It sounds less violent. I don't know. There aren't that many like good male names like in Danish or in any language really. Just male names are always awful. Females have got all the good names taken. All the like really pretty or really awe-inspiring ones. They're just no. There's no good male names ever. Suck it, everyone. So, not naming him Welcome, naming him Storm. He could get out early on good behavior. That would actually be very bad behavior because he's due on the January 15th. But he was sort of, the delivery date was sort of pushed. I guess it would push forward Yeah, because it was pushed earlier. So originally he was like January 20th or 22nd or something. And then it got pushed back because the dude's huge. It's just this is the biggest fetus we've ever seen. Just, okay, well, I guess he's due earlier than we thought then. But that's usually what they do when they, when the point of conception is sort of up in the air. It's like, it was probably between this and this Christmas party or this and this drunken mishap or something. But we went through the whole IVF thing, so we know exactly when that kid was conceived. And so I have my very, very big doubts that this kid is going to come out on January 15th. I think it's going to be a bit later than that. Anyway, we'll see. Good God. Wyatt Brain's nephew's name is Logan James. His dad named him after Wolverine twice. Good God. And the kid probably grew up hating Marvel Comics. Just absolutely hated it. Yeah, my kid ends up being short. Wait, what's my cat doing? Oh, he just got in his box. Okay, beautiful. Right, so that's it for Junior's Rescue. Let's start a new project. And let's import some new stuff. So first of all, we need no audio tracks. We're not doing anything digital. Let's just add in, actually, we don't even need that many instrument tracks because once you yank a piece of MIDI file in, it just automatically creates all the bits that you need. Good God. Snap, yeah, sure, why not? Time, fine. Let's just hit OK. Right, so previously what we used to do was we would take the Space Quest 4 MIDI as recorded off the game by Tom Lewandowski. Now what he did was he did a massive dump of the entire Space Quest 4 soundtrack and just stuffed it all into a single MIDI file. And here's the track sheet, he calls it, basically the all the tracks and when they appear inside the MIDI file. So what measure do they start at and what time do they start at? And I was using this for reference until it dawned on me that particularly the Magmethia's bar theme, actually in his recording it cuts off just before it gets to the jazzy Space Quest rendition, which is my favorite bit, and it cuts off before that. So it's like, how the fuck do I do it? So a lot of back and forth ensued on the SQH Discord, and luckily some very intrepid fans managed to somehow get me a MIDI dump. Oh, Kikurame! I even put his name in the fucking folder. There you go. Basically dumped all the MIDIs from the game in a format that's readable by Mixcraft, which is very, very good stuff. So what I need to do is actually go back out here, bring up my tracks to RIP, because that has the little number here at the front. The little number is the MIDI file. If they just come out as like numbered MIDI files. Yay. Lucy's going on about raspberry cokes and shit, and Summer has some brie. You might need some brie and settle your stomach and shit. And yeah, you do need to see Summer eating that horrible pizza. It is phenomenal. It actually happens during my stream. So if you go to the VODs from yesterday when I was streaming Guard Duty, there's actually a little camera in the bottom right corner after Summer has her pizza delivered, where she sits there and eats it. Dear God. Oh, hey, just here for coffee says Twitch actually recommended a channel that I have some interest in. I love these games. Well, cheers, man. Sadly, we're not actually playing the games. We're just messing with the soundtrack. But hopefully you got that from the title of the stream. So anyway, let's see. The next one I want to get at is, we've had this one, beats up a couple of sequel policemen. I think that was the one we just did. What the fuck are you doing? Where are you? Oh, he's in his litter box. Jesus, all I'm hearing is like little scratchy noises. I'm going, is he fucking with my computer? Is he like yanking out every cable systematically until something turns off? It's like, by the way, I have cats, in case, newcomers didn't know that. And one of them's taking a shit right now. There you go. So anyway, so this is the one we just did. And Roger Jr. throws you into time rip is track 800. So let's see what happens when we just drag this up here. Boom. That's coming through loud and clear on the... That is coming through loud and clear on the microphone, isn't it? Now the microphone is actually... Oh, good. Yeah, because we've got a gate thing on this. mic gate. It just whenever audio is low enough, it'll just go silent. So you know, Zelda Immortal just came across your channel on YouTube and followed you recently. It fills my adventure game niche. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Cheers, man. Thank you so much. Because Paul says it sounds like the clawing of a prisoner, just scratching his fucking nails out on the brick wall. Just let me out, and blood streaking down the walls. Okay, that went places. Let's do some music instead, shall we? Lucy says we need to see proof of this cat when he's done. Maybe after he's had a chance to wipe. He just went in the other box as well. We've got 2 litter boxes. He just took a dump in one of them, and now he's in the other one, just poking around the other cat's messings. This is a strange cat, and he will literally be clawing at the fucking the side of the litter box for hours and hours. Eventually, you have to go down there and tell him to just knock this shit off. Thanks, Eden Waith. Interesting what we're doing here. Right now, we're talking about the that is coming through loud and clear. We're talking about the bathroom habits of my feline compatriots. Don't worry, we will also be making some music, as in now. That's just the same. That's the same track we just did. So, which begs the question, of course, if we just make a new project here, which begs the question, of course, what was the other one? The one we had in here where Roger beats up a couple of secret policemen. 57. Some of these are duplicates, which is why there's a good chance some of these might actually be duplicates, duplicate MIDI files, because Zelda Immortal got it, because the game data has MIDI files for the MT32 and for the OPL cards. That would be the Sound Blasters and Adlib cards, and you know, because the OPL cards had fewer channels available than the MT32, and you can't just shove an MT32 MIDI file into an OPL and expect it to play it, because, you know, there are more channels in the MIDI file than it's capable of handling. It's not going to sound good anyway. So, oh my god, the cats, the odor coming off of that box right now is tremendous. Did you have a good shit? Where'd you go? He's looking at me like he's really guilty about something. You are guilty of something. You're guilty of biological fucking terrorism, you little shit. He's fine. What the hell was I saying? Anyway, yeah, there are duplicate files, and that's because, as Zelda Immortal said, there are 2 different MIDI files. So, like I said before, Ken Allen started with the MT32, and then he took his Music Peaches, and then he downgraded them for, you know, lesser sound cards, I guess. Cat pooped in my office. No, he did not, because I am in the kitchen, yes. Why do you have to use the same room as the cat litter? It's the kitchen. And before you say anything, it's a big kitchen, so cat litter is way over here. There's a tiny little stairway going up into the living room, and the cat litter is under the stairwell. And then over here is where the actual kitchen bit is, so don't you worry, the cat litter and the kitchen bits are nowhere near each other. I mean, we're not that insane. So let's see what 57 is. See if 57 has... That's the same file. But that has fewer tracks than the other one, so I would assume this one is the OPL version of that same tune, and then the one we dragged in a minute ago was the MT32 version. So these can go. Good, we're done. That would actually leave us to Streets of Xenon as per the intro. So we need to do the Streets of Xenon now. That's 48. I do not trust to see now when it says 48, that means, I think that means that the lower numbered ones are the ones with OPLs. So the higher number ones, the ones that go into the thousands, are the MT32s. Now I didn't realize that when I made this list. So wait a minute. Is there a sound font? Can I listen to a MIDI file in VLC? Is that actually going to play? No, it is not going to play. Well, hot diggity damn. David Klink asks, what are you doing by remastering? I'm just simply shoving the original MIDI data into Mixcraft, which is a DAW of whatever, and I mean, you could use Ableton Live, you could use Logic. I use Mixcraft because I have a legal version of it. That's a long explanation, but anyway, it didn't feel like streaming pirated software, which I don't have, by the way. You don't have to come and check. I only have Mixcraft on this computer because I have a legal license to use it. And I'm just basically shoving new instrument patches into the original MIDI data and making a remastered soundtrack from that. There is a way to listen to these, think, with the SCI Companion, except I don't actually have Space Quest 4 installed, so, well, shit. You know what? Let's just see if the Streets of Xenon 48 is an acceptable piece of music. I mean, that's not a lot of tracks, obviously. By the way, these are the instrument patches that Mixcraft automatically assigns the MIDI. It goes in and reads what general MIDI instrument was this supposed to be, and then it adds in what it thinks it should be. And I don't know where it gets these patches from, but they are very, very awful. Oh, you almost heard that one. This should sound familiar. Kind of. You know what? Maybe we should start with this one, because that's the like really high pitched, screechy kind of thing. What the hell is that anyway? Let's try and give it a synth thing, a soft lead of some kind, just to see what the hell it sounds like. Waiting. Yeah, and I am just using instrument presets. I know I can go into, check this out. I can go into the actual VST that this thing is using, this thing, and start yanking on levers and shit. I don't want to do that right off the bat. I just want to, like, if there's an appropriate patch, look at the presets. Look at the number of presets there are in this thing. It's massive. Look at all of them. Here they go. All of this shit. There's so many patches to choose from, and we are mainly operating with something that's orchestral. So, you know, it's got patches for most orchestral instruments anyway. I don't have to sit here and program a synthesizer to sound like a violin when there's like 3 or 4 different violin patches already pre-made for this that sound much better than anything I could do. So that only comes into when we're starting to do like synthy stuff, which this track is. We're gonna start maybe fiddling with bits, but I'd rather just start with the patch and then fuck with it, rather than make one from scratch, because that's gonna take all fucking day. My voice is going, if you can't tell. And I only have Coke. I should get up and just get a glass of water. I don't know why I don't do that. But anyway, where'd you go? Echo lead. For some reason, I decided to reload the patch. Anyway, let's see if that plays. I mean, now you can tell what that was supposed to be. I think if you've played Space Quest 4, at least you can tell what that was supposed to be. Not the right patch for it, because it needs that pitch bend at the end. Right, not the right patch either, but you see that little pitch bend at the end? That needs to be in there. Yeah, and then it just needs to sort of, this one has a very sharp what's that called? The release. You got your attack, decay, sustain, release. Yeah, if that makes sense, good. If it does make sense, I don't want to explain it because I barely understand it myself. But anyway, a waveform has an attack, a decay, sustain, and a release. And the release is like, yeah, sharp incline. So it needs to be more of a sort of flowy one. Maybe we can edit one in. Oh, good God. Yeah, see here, we got the attack, decay, sustain, release. So the release on this needs to be... Yeah, see, before it was... It just went like that, but now... It has that nice, like... Also, you can barely hear that because I haven't put my mastering track on, my mastering plugin. I know you're not supposed to mix with this. All you music fans out there watching this at a later date or something, I know you're not supposed to mix with the mastering plugin enabled. I'm doing it anyway, because fuck you. Yeah, not sold on it. Maybe it needs more sustain. I don't know. Nah, it's terrible. It's terrible. Let's not fuck with this. Attack Decay sustain release is my favorite supernatural MMORPG. Oh, that's very hard to say. Neverclink suggested change it into an automaton. I don't know what that is. I'm tempted to just search if there is a thing called... I'm just gonna go up to all and just see if it actually has one called auto... No, of course it doesn't. You're having me on, Neverclink. How do you like it? Let's try and do more of this. Let's try dreamscape things. Good fucking god, what was that? Oh god. Gritty and smooth. Well, that's certainly otherworldly, but not quite what we had in mind. Well, it tried. It tried its very, very best. Let's take this seriously for a moment. Nah, I thought like a lead synth would actually... a mini lead. I need something with a slightly slow attack, but also like a... You know what I'm starting to think? And hear me out on this. I'm starting to think that maybe our other lead... This might actually have potential. Maybe we can just fuck with it, fuck with the effects a bit. Just give it like a lot of reverb or something. Go into the pro reverby thing here. Just pump this fucker up. Just give it a lot of early gain so we get the actual tone of it, but also a lot of late gain so we hear the tail of it. That might actually work. And if we go in and screw with the release on this, just pump that motherfucker up. I think a note just got stuck. No, it's fading out. It's fading out. Apparently, in the MIDI data, there are some like cutoffs of the actual tune. By the way, how exciting is this? This is just like fucking ear rape. Not to be controversial or anything. That is the technical term for it. Just playing this high-pitched shit all over and over again. Anyway, let's just call that one good for now. And... oh, as you can see, the first instrument track actually has nothing on it, so I'll just delete that. We don't need that. And this track down here, my original track, it had nothing on it as well. So, what are you? It doesn't start until here. Basically just a truck backing up. I don't know what this instrument is supposed to be, but that's all it does. Yeah, that's all it does for the duration of the entire track, so that's all it does. You know what, I'm gonna save you for later. I'm just gonna mute you for now. And we've done you. Let's see what this is. This is whatever is rumbling in the background. Yeah, this is whatever's rumbling in the background of, so this needs to be some sort of like synthy, a synthy bell, but played, excuse me, that's the Coke. a synthy bell, but played like really, like on a really low octave. Splendid bell, perhaps. I don't know what a splendid bell is, but we'll find out. That is not it. Let's zoom in a bit so I can... It does have... I remember when you arrive, it has that sort of brum, but not in a sort of orchestral hit kind of thing. It just has a little brum. I see suggestions for tubular bells. Not sure if that is an actual suggestion. Wirebrain wants a radical bell. I don't think we have one of those, but I think we can make one if you like. Let's just see what a synth bell is and see if that does anything. Close, close. I don't know if it's hard to explain what I'm looking for. Something more like that. More like a really long-tailed bell played at like a pitch that you wouldn't play a bell on, like a bell can't possibly do. Maybe more like this. What comes next? And then we just need to like up the fucking volume of the... Oh, by the way, that reminds me. Reason why I'm yanking on the master volume down here is because my setup for this is for the master track. I have this this preset, this mastering preset called Classical 2. Ups the volume nicely, sort of spreads out the stereo image and all that, but it's very low in the mix, so I also up it about 3 decibels on the master track, and that's once the entire track is finished and it's playing with this will sound in keeping with the rest of the audio level of the rest of the soundtrack. So relax. But this needs to be a lot heavier and dirtier. But let's just put this to the side for the moment and see what the next thing is. That's the bass. That's the heavy bass going underneath. Bass and lead bass. What the hell are you? Oh, good God. Yeah. One thing you really have to be careful of is I was messing around with with track 4 here, but and then I thought, okay, I'm just gonna pick another instrument patch for track 4. That's not how it works. You see, this one is actually highlighted on track 3, and that's the one I'm messing with here. That's still track 3. I should have clicked this one. This is the instrument for track 3, because you can switch multiple tracks instrument patches out concurrently. So why did I need to explain that? I don't know. Synthy bass, ballad bass, barrel kicker. What was the one I was going for? Ambient square bass. That might be it, actually. Nope. It does have a nice kick to it. Oh, Zombie Gamer has to leave for the Christmas party, so have fun. See you next time. Yes, have fun. See you. Sorry you can't make it for the 24th. We will think of you. We'll have you in our hearts. Throw a barrel at it? You know what? I'll do it, but there's no release on this. There's a lot of attack and no release. Just check this out. It just sounds like nothing. What was the bass and lead bass? What does that do? Oh, thank you for the cheers, Zombie Gamer. See you around the Chrono stream. Oh, cheers, man. That's not my line. It's Space Quest 4's line. Anyone can use that line. The line belongs to the world. And thanks so much. Bit crushed. This cannot be good. Cover your ears. Fucking hell. I mean, I am tempted to put something like this in it because it has to sound like really evil and menacing and all that shit. But let's find an actual instrument before. Maybe we can like have it on as a duplicate or something. What is all this shit? That is terrible. Maybe we don't need a synth bass for this yet. Maybe we should go and find an actual one of the fretless bass. How about long, nice. I don't know, man. Synth electric bass. Nope, that's not gonna be it. I spoke too soon. This might actually be it. So one thing we could do is, because there are actual notes in this. It's actually playing notes, but they're very, very low. So I'm just gonna try and up an octave. Zombie Gamer is way too generous, I know. This is good. This is really good. It's actually, it's overpoweringly good. This is gonna blow speakers. We don't want to actually do that, but dear God, that was close. Let's just try something else just for fun. Well, that's just a fucking letdown in comparison, isn't it? This might actually be good, because it had like a long tail, and we can just turn it down in the mix, obviously. Just go like... Yeah. All right. So you're good. I just want to check what this little piffly thing over here, what does that do? That's just a cello farting. Why is that in the tune? Why is that cello fart? Okay, I'll give it a cello sound. Fuck it. I mean, shit. That's not how you spell cello. Stereo cellos. Yeah, fuck it. Let's have two. Done deal. We're done. Project over. Let's just add some reverb to that, because that was pathetic. Just have tons of reverb on that thing. Fuck it. Yeah, party hard. There you go. Cool. Alexander Mejia, good to see you. Epic beard. Thanks you. Thanks you. Second language. I'm growing in my dad beard. How do you like it? Okay, apart from the truck backing up here, let's see how the rest of it. The wooey sound is really good. Yeah, Macabre, I like that one as well. This bell thing we've got going here is also good, but needs a lot of help. Needs some power. Needs some... Fuck, where are you? Compressor. Needs to compress this shit up. Just needs to fucking boost the shit out of it. Hang on, let's see if we're overdoing this. I'm just gonna mute the fucking cello, because what the hell was that? Damn, it's like that last note didn't have enough confidence in itself, and it just sort of shat the bed right at the end, because that sounds like a really good place to loop the thing. So anyway, I think we're onto something good here. I still don't know what to do with the truck backing up here. Does anyone remember this from the game? I don't remember this. Good fucking God. Oh wait, I'm behind on the chat here. Wirebrain says, good God. Oh, there's a whole discussion going on here. Wirebrain, I know that player death is a sticking point with some. Oh, actually, sorry, this is Zelda Immortal saying player death is a sticking point with some adventure games, but I feel like some do it well. Wirebrain says, I think it should be clear the thing is dangerous before you interact with it directly. If you don't, you're an a-hole. Talk to the little kid. She kills you. Retry. And Wyvern says, now if the little kid is hacking up a doll, then okay. So there's a whole conversation about player deaths. This is the wrong conversation to have when we're talking about Space Quest 4, because that was pretty much just player deaths every 2 seconds, really. Just everything in Space Quest 4 wants you dead, wants to kill you. Again, back to the fucking music. Does anyone remember what this truck is supposed to be? I'm just gonna put in a random fucking patch, see what happens. Also, Angus Bohol says, I hate that sound. Get rid of it. Which sound? The truck backing up sound? Alexander says he remembers the truck sound, but it always sounded awful. We could put something like that in there. I mean, I'm not saying we have to, but it's just like a little bloop, bloop, bloop. We can do that. We can take some, like, liberties is the word. That is not a word that should not come to you readily, but it was. It's just like a stabby think keyboard. Let's do harpsichord. Maybe maybe a Celeste. A Celeste usually something like that, maybe, and just shower the fucking thing in reverb. By the way, do people say reverb or reverb? Hashtag second language. I've always wondered. It's an accent thing, I'm sure. Okay, let's get this. Wyron says the Space Quest 4 gave you a pretty damn fair warning with the unstable ordnance, slime, no cheap shots. Even the zombie monsters clearly. Oh yeah. I didn't say it wasn't clearly like. There are no cheap deaths in Space Quest 4, but there's a lot of them. Like deaths, I mean, not cheap ones, but there's like a lot of them. Wybrain says reverb, and Vocabra says reverbadzia. Because he's Russian. He's stealing all your personal information right now. Okay, let's check this out. Most people seem to say reverb. And I think that's an American thing. I think in Britain you'd say reverb. Something reverberates anyway. I know it doesn't reverberate. Actually, now that I say it, it might can do that. Enwaith asks, was there a downgraded version of the audio in this game if you played the 16 color version? No, that's visuals and audio are independent of each other when you're talking old DOS games. You could play the shitty looking 16 color version of Space Quest 4 and still have the most glorious audio of all time. Full MT32, digitized voices, everything just pumping out of your speakers. You could play the shitty 4-color CG. I don't think you can actually punch it into 4-color CGA, but if you could still have that and grandiose audio. Or you could play the 256 color VGA version, spectacular graphics, and fucking PC speaker. Single tone PC speaker. The two are independent of each other. It all came down to what you had in your computer. Interestingly, I recently found out that there are 2 different 16 color versions of Space Quest 4. There's a proper one that came out on floppy disks that was sold as the 16 color version and only the 16 color version. There's that one. And there's also what happens when you take the 256 color version on either floppy disks or CD-ROM and in the setup program tell it to use 16 colors. It sort of downgrades the 256 color version, perhaps through some automated process or something. I don't know, but for whatever reason, there are 2 different versions of Space Quest 4 in 16 colors. And I had a whole thing that I wanted to do, a whole sort of documentary thing where I went through Space Quest on different systems. I was going to play Space Quest 1, 2, 3 on like old Macintosh and Apple II GS and Atari ST, and I actually got a ton of footage of that. And another thing I was going to do was going to play Space Quest 4, the 2 different EGA versions. I had Pickle Dog play through the Amiga version. I had Dark Soul play through the Japanese PC-98. I think it's called a PC-98 version of that. So bar. Probably not going to happen in the near future, which is actually a great shame when you think of the amount of effort that Dark Soul and Pickle Dog put into their little bits about Space Quest 4. But anyway, what are you going to do? So, well, that was a bit of a tangent. All I was going to say is that I actually think the CEST is doing pretty well. Let's just smother that thing in reverb. We did that. Cool. This actually doesn't sound too bad to me. Like, right off the bat. And the bass fades out nicely and then goes into this little lull. It should go back to something right there, like maybe. Does it ever go back to? It should go back to here. Maybe. Yeah. Do you think we could just get away with just copy pasting this for a bit and just fade out on that? I'm gonna wager a yes. Let's see what happens. Fuck it, what's the worst that can happen? So it goes. So one thing we need to do, and we are gonna have to break a little rule here. That last note, not this one, but this one. That last note just has no self-confidence whatsoever. It doesn't let itself ring out, and it needs to. These guys right here. You guys need need coaching or some shit. You guys need Jesus. Can I mark both of you, please? Good God damn it, I'm holding down control. Oh, there you go. You didn't want to do it the first time. Anyway, we just need to, like, scooch you over here, maybe. Yeah, and let me just get rid of this because now we wanna copy and paste the shit. Fuck you. Again, they're just slightly off the grid, so I have to mark them manually. Go like this, go like that. This one is having a bit too much fun, actually. This little there's too much oomph in one of these. God only knows which note of it is actually doing that. That's why I was scrolling down, because I thought there was like a deep bass note down here somewhere that was fucking with me, but no. I think I might just want to cool this dude's jets just a little bit. Nah, it's still peaking. You see that? That's not good. That's not good. I will reduce the power of both of you. As you can see, as you can barely see, I think. These down here are the amount of force that you slam down on the keyboard keys with. So this was like on a 60, 70 something. So I'm just gonna pump it down to a nice even bit down here, and let's see what. And there you go. See, it actually got a little soft on us. I did like how it was a little more oomphy. let me just fix this thing before we move on. Hang on, you guys want to be a little more... There you go. There you go. There you go. Okay, so one other thing I want to do, because these guys can just loop for time and time, ever and ever and ever. I'll just make them loop 3 times, because by then, you know, the attention span is running out, and then just fade out. But I want to add some extra. Just something to tickle your balls while the bells, just something to tickle the bells and balls. Just something rumbling underneath. Copy some of the lower notes of, I guess, this stuff over here. Like when it goes into. Like maybe we can have a. Maybe we can have like a synth pad or something that's just duplicating what this thing is doing. Let's go. Okay, Wirebrain has a thing in the chat. Everyone, adventure or story game you'd give to a beginner player. Go. Loom. Loom is a perfect beginner's adventure game. It's beautiful, it's magical, it's still representative of a point and click nature enough without overwhelming the player, and there's an immediate connection between what you have to do interface wise and what's happening in the game. It's not an abstract here's your look cursor, here's your hand cursor, here's your talk cursor. It's like a direct, you've got a staff, you've got a bit of notation, off you scoot. And that's how you solve every puzzle in the game. Loom is a really good, beginner's adventure game. Vukama says, I recall there's one specific version of Loom that's the best, the others are worse. Dawson Sounding always comments on that. Yes, quickly. When I did my Loom playthrough with a bunch of really cool people who were acting out the dialogue, and also the game's creator, Brian Moriarty, we were playing the FM Towns version. The FM Towns was a Japanese computer that had 256 color graphics. The games came on CD-ROM, but they didn't have like voices and shit. They were basically just PC games, but with higher resolution graphics, and they had CD audio for music. So Loom came out for the FM Towns. Thanks for the follow, by the way, Mocha Oba Bread. Nice handle. Anyway, came out for that, and it has wonderful 256 color graphics, but it retains all the dialogue that was from the original floppy version. The original floppy version was 16 colors only, although a gorgeous use of 16 colors and a bunch of wonderful dialogue. And the 16 color version is like the original one. Then you have the FM Towns one, which ups the graphics but retains all the dialogue. And then you have the CD-ROM version of Loom, the one that actually came out on PC CD-ROM, IBM PC CD-ROMs, which butchered all the dialogue because they wanted to add voiceover, but it runs off the voices run off the CD as like a standard CD audio thing. So they only had about like 60 minutes of audio to cram into an entire full-length game. So they had to butcher all the audio. A bunch of wonderful graphic close-ups of characters are missing. Never play the CD-ROM version of Loom unless, for research purposes, for historical purposes. The CD-ROM version of Loom is atrocious. And for a long time, it was the only thing you could get legally on Steam and GOG. The CD-ROM version was the only one. Thankfully, they've started selling Loom, the original 16-color version, along with the CD-ROM version, so you can get either one of those. And granted, the 16-color version is fantastic. A lot of people really want to play the FM Towns version because it has graphics on par with the CD-ROM version, but retains all the dialogue that they cut out of the CD-ROM version. However, when I played it with, and this was what I was trying to get back to, when I did play it with all the voice actors we had and Brian Moriarty, who created the game, I had at least in my mind, I'd read somewhere that Brian Moriarty thought the FM Towns version was the best one, so that's the one we played. But then I asked him while the stream was running, I said something to the effect of, we're playing this because it is Brian Moriarty's favorite version of the game, and he said, nope, that's the 16 color version. I said, oh shit. I didn't realize. Anyway, so if you want to play the version preferred by the original author, play the 16 color EGA version of Loom. Yeah, that was a quick aside. You should see me when I start rambling. Anyway, let's do some pads, just atmospheric padding. I just want to see what the hell this sounds like before I introduce it to the rest of the group. That sounds fucking awesome. Good God. What were the odds we were gonna stumble upon the perfect patch right off the bat? This needs to be like not pan center as it is right now. It needs to be like off on the side. Oh yeah, sorry. Alexander says he played both the CD-ROM version and EGA version of Loom on his stream with DOS Nostalgic, and that is a really, really good stream. You should check that out. They played it simultaneously. Fun stuff. And wait, let me try and fuck with this thing for a bit. I want to add some. Where'd you go? The delay. Can't remember if it's the delay one. Nope, it's not that one. Sorry, there's a bunch of... It's been a while since I've played with this. Is it this one? Yeah, here we go. So what I want to do is want to set up a ping pong delay. Which sounds awful, and it could be. It basically means that instead of being pan center, it's going to bounce back and forth. You know, it's going to give a wider stereo image. I don't know if you can hear that, but it suddenly went out here. Randall says, that's a nice program you got there. What is it? Everyone, round of applause for Randall Truelson, who bought me the license for Mixcraft Studio so I could use it to make music for his game, Absolute Zero. Please visit gigglehorse.com and check it out for yourself. It is shaping up and is looking really, really good, and it is a really sarcastic, cynical science fiction comedy adventure game that I'm really excited to be a part of. So have a check on that. It's a nice program you have. It's a shame if something were to happen to it. Hey, see you later, Wabry. Nothing's gonna happen to this. You stay the fuck away, Alex. Stay away from my Mixcraft. Let's see. This sounds pretty good. I wish the you don't have to sync, my lads. You have to. This is gonna sound great with the rest of it. I don't even want to check any other patches or anything. I'm just gonna play this from over here. Alexander said it's very quiet in the mix, and what I was doing there was trying to sort of boost the audio, but I think it's sort of colliding with the bell sound we've got up here. So I actually like how it's very low in the mix. I mean, you can just sort of hear it like off to the side. I might actually pan it out a bit. And even though I'm panning it out, it should still retain that stereo effect. It should just be more sort of skewed to one side of the speakers. And one thing we can do, actually, is duplicate this and find more shit. Where's the duplicate? There we go. Maybe introduce... I should probably save this. I haven't saved this at all. Good God, while I've been working on it. Oh, kids, never do that. Never do that. These would be Streets of Xenon. Good God, I should have saved months ago. So let's find some more stuff for this thing to do. See, that would be bad. See, we don't want that. That's terrible. We do want like a soft pad, like an ambient wind or something. Oh yeah. Good God, that is barely audible. That's actually not audible in the slightest. I can't hear that. Gently now. See how gentle these are. Again, almost imperceptible. Horror pad. This might actually be something. Hang on. Let's give it some compression. Oh, it's peaking. Sorry. Got carried away there. Actually, what I might do is just EQ the EQ some bass out of it. All we get is that little tickling in the right ear. Yeah, see, we're onto something here. Check this out. Unsolo that, and... Actually overpowering the other one a bit. I might just boost this one a little bit. Let's take this from the top. Let's see, because I'm starting to... I've heard the same thing too many times, so now I'm starting to get a bit blind to how it actually sounds like when you close your eyes and just listen to the whole thing. There's supposed to be a fade out there. So let's actually do the fade out. Good God. You know what? Actually, might, because I want that to be a long fade out. A long fade out. Because now Roger's stuck on Streets of Xenon, and he is boned. B-O-N-E-D. So that's a long ass fade out, and that's basically like the intro suite, like the not even the overture. The overture's not. I know. I don't know what you guys are. Anyway, so one more listen, because one thing I also did was add the horror pad to the opening bit here. Let's just see how that tickles the ear as the opening bit with the bass. I like it. Yeah, we've heard the rest. Yeah, I'm actually okay with this now. This is not bad. This is not bad. So we've done two amazing things tonight. We've done this one, and we've done Junior's Rescue, which is over here. Let me just see if this one's saved. Yeah, Streets of Xenon, it's saved. You never know. Let's have a listen to Junior's Rescue, just to see if the audio levels are anywhere near. My last drink of Coke. Again, terrible idea, but check this out. Why did I say check this out? Let's check out my amazing Coke drinking skills. All right, here we go. Junior's Rescue. And by the way, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna start it, then stop it, and then rewind and start it again, because audio levels, MIDI data. I don't know how this works, but anyway. Wow. And here we go. 3, 2, 1. It was actually okay. Excuse me. Okay, one thing I will say, this one sounds pretty good so far as well. One thing I really don't like about this is the opening doesn't sound punchy enough. It doesn't sound like action is happening. That bit right there when it goes dun-dun, it has to be like a slap in the face, and it's just like a wet fart instead. Hi, Pickle Dog. It's not really kicking, is it? When the brass comes in, I think it's the brass. I think we're doing something wrong with the brass thing here. I'm just gonna add a new track and see if we can mess with it somehow. Because it is not kicking it for me. Alexander is buffering hard. Dude, what you do in your own time is not my concern, but oh, you mean the stream is, yeah. Hey, I'm making the joke. Welcome to the SQ4 stream. My humor is unparalleled. Fuck, can we, like, just get an orchestral hit? I know this is bad form. This is gonna sound fucking awful. I want to get, like two cymbals just smashing together. Zelda says, try a new brass patch. Also, that's not a bad idea. I'm gonna mute you for a second. There are precious few really good brass patches. Something with French horns in it. There is a French word. I'm just gonna make a mental note. Big brass. Can someone actually write that down for me? Big brass. We're gonna keep that in mind. I'll try and do a French horn ensemble thing. We've got that as well. It's not terribly overpowering either. Actually, pretty much inaudible. It needs to be like a brass section losing their minds, not this this soft shit. Brass, let's go, people. Let's get busy and freaky pumping. What the hell is this? I am messing with the wrong patch again. It's supposed to be this one. Okay, pump and circumstance. Get busy. What the hell is that last thing? Good God. All right. I'm just going to duplicate you because for some reason the orchestral hit is not, it's not terrible. It's not awe-inspiring, but it could be worse. Good God. Well, except for all the shit over here, that actually sounded pretty fucking awesome. It's blowing out the speakers, obviously. Let me just get in here and slow this thing down a bit. Track number 6, where'd you go? There. Let you ease up a bit, but check this shit out. I muted them. I accidentally fucking muted them. This nonsense up here. This nonsense here is a no-go. What we need to do is have something else play that, and just have Mr. Savage Opera here just play like the long notes. Oh, this shit doesn't matter. This shit doesn't matter. This shit doesn't matter. And I think same thing goes for this shit. This should be an entirely different patch. It should have nothing to do with brass. And also the orchestral hits here are fun as they are. Should also not have the little twiddly bits in the middle. So let's copy you, get up here. I'll just... God. And whatever the hell you're supposed to be down here, I have no idea, but add a new track and just drag this fucking thing up here, because that is not supposed to be a brass instrument. This is the conclusion I'm slowly coming to. Zelda Immortal has noticed non-sampled brass patches sometimes or mostly sound weak. No fucking kidding. We have noticed. So try a synthly. Just try something. Just something to punch this. Some ecstasy. We need some ecstasy in our lives. I realize how that sounds. Let's just solo this, see what kind of instrument we're dealing with. Probably not the sort of ecstasy we're looking for, but yeah, could be fun in and of itself. A sync. Now this doesn't. See, a lot of these lead instruments are monophonic instead of polyphonic, which means that if you hold down more than one key on a keyboard, it won't play both notes. It'll play whatever you hit, whatever key you hit last. So it can only play one note at a time. I think most of the soft leads are in a different pony slide. I have no idea. Maybe a bass. Maybe some bassness. Maybe something. Maybe an evil bass. How evil do we want to be? This is weird. Maybe a fat saw bass. I don't know what the fuck happened, but maybe it sounds good. And yes, Angus, I was talking about something ecstasy, but not what you're thinking. How the hell does this sound? I've no idea what this piffly thing over here is supposed to be, and it's clashing with the rest of the goodness we've got. Also, would this new patch sound good with the... Oh god, that's out of sync. No, it wouldn't sound good. I was just checking if the patch actually sounded good when you played it next to the Michael Jackson bass. It doesn't. I mean, I think we're onto something. I just want this thing to shut up here. You know what? I think we're onto something, but whatever we're doing is going to have to wait until next time. Maybe we can give this one last little shot. You know what? You know what? You know what? Let's cheat. Let's be naughty. Cheat. Add an audio track. See, there's a big old library of country rock. No. We don't need a song kit. We need some orchestra, film rock score, battle. We just need a simple. We just need a one of those fucking things. This is cheating. I know. Stop. Battle. What other? That had no attack to it. Cinematic. Do you got a big symbol for me? Good God. It was fine until it started like having a fit. Dramatic. And I have a dramatic symbol roll. That is not a symbol roll if you just smash them together. A symbol roll is like that thing. You absolute dingbat. This thing was the best one, I think. There you go. That's a symbol roll. You utter weapon. Actually, would that be good here? A simple. I was just gonna do a simple crash, but maybe a roll will be in order. Can't move you back any further. That's good. Huh? Oh yeah! Okay, all we need to do is just sort of mix that in so it doesn't fucking overpower everything. Do that, and then just blast the thing with some reverb. When in doubt, reverb the shite out of something. Need a late gain, not so much early gain, you'll be fine. Good God, that is effective. That's fucking clipping. What's clipping? What's making it clip? Oh, it's must be the 3 million orchestral stabs we added up here. Let's just try and mute the orchestral hits. I don't think they're doing anything for us. Actually, they were doing something for us. I didn't notice. I think it's the Savage Opera thing. We just need to turn it down in the mix a bit. And we might want to EQ the bass out of the orchestral hits, because they are powerful little fuckers, aren't they? It's that second hit that's coming in hot. Let's do that one more time. Also, the simple roll still could use a little piping down. Oh, one thing that didn't occur to me, the fat saw bass might actually be the problem. The one that's causing all the booming bass to peak. Yeah. Okay, last thing is this little stabby thing up here. Also needs to fade in. I'm starting to get a bit annoyed with the lead bassy thing over here, actually. Is slightly. I think it's time to step away from this and have a fresh listen to it some other time. Also, it's 10 to midnight now, so really need to end the stream here. Sorry. We're gonna shut the program down because that's the only way I'll ever let it go. And you know what? No, not gonna save the changes to that. I just erased the already completed tracks ceremoniously is what we did. Also, Randall says his OCD makes him nuts that we have all the tracks in the same color. Dude, yeah, probably should color coordinate it, but it's not that important. And not when you're working with as few tracks as I am. It'll be fine. So anyway, thanks so much for checking in on this stream. There will be more streams. On the 22nd, I'll be streaming something. I don't know. Next Sunday, I'll be streaming something. And on the 24th, I'll be doing my annual live stream, not a Christmas stream, with Torpedo Bear. We still haven't figured out what we're going to do, but we're going to do something. And I might stream on the 29th? I don't know. Odds are I'm going to forget. So don't bank on it, but it is a Sunday and I'm technically not doing anything. So might stream on the 29th. And again, I don't know what, but anyway, those will be the last streams of the year, obviously. I won't stop streaming until like the end of January. So the 5th, the 12th, and the 19th might be good. But after that, after the, because, you know, dude's supposed to plop out on the 15th. I don't think he will. I think he'll plop out closer to the 20th. But anyway, we'll see. It's right around here that shit starts getting real. So we might be looking at 2, 3, 4 live streams, maybe. Not counting the Christmas stream. I don't know. We'll see. So please do check back for that. And I will also be making some videos, just some one-off videos, instead of the usual series that we've got going on. So I'm not going to go away right away, but come the end of January, it's time for that little hiatus. Where's my end credits? There you guys are. Good God. display capture, please depart from this world. Right, so once again, thank you guys so much for checking in on this. Thank you so much for sticking with me, and I hope to see you in my new adventure in 2020 as an actual game developer. As I have taken the plunge, and there was a big Patreon post about that over on patreon.com, and I also announced it on Twitter. If you go to patreon.com/BaseQuestHistorian, you'll see some new tiers to pledge on that are more in keeping with my future as an adventure game developer, and I will have a video out in the next week about what I plan to do for my first project. There's been some good questions coming in about what does it mean? Why am I not doing YouTube anymore? Why am I making my own games and such? It's a little more complicated than that, but I'll fill you in the coming week or something. So, oh, that's the end of the credits. Bye. See you around the Chrono stream.